I exposed my girlfriend and my best friend at her birthday party and walked out forever.
I never thought I'd be the kind of person who would end up writing one of those stories. The kind you scroll through on a sleepless night, shaking your head thinking, people can't be this terrible in real life. Turns out, they can. And mine starts with the two people I trusted the most. My girlfriend of 4 years, Emily, and my best friend since childhood, Ryan. Emily and I met in college. She was studying psychology, I was studying engineering, and we connected almost instantly. She had this effortless way of making people feel seen, attentive, warm. The kind of person who remembered tiny details from casual conversations. We moved in together after graduation, rented a small apartment near downtown, adopted a rescue cat, and built the kind of quiet, stable life that makes you believe you're actually doing adulthood right. Ryan, on the other hand, had been in my life since we were 10. We met on the first day of 5th grade when he offered me half of his sandwich, because I forgot my lunch. From that moment on, we were inseparable, sleepovers every weekend, countless late-night gaming sessions, sharing every secret, every heartbreak, every stupid decision. Eventually, when Emily moved in with me, she and Ryan became close too. Or so I thought. Looking back, I can't believe how comfortable I was seeing them laugh together, joke together, even hang out when I was at work late. I didn't think twice because why should I? These were the two people I trusted more than anyone. If anyone was safe together, it was them. But you know how every big betrayal, every true Reddit revenge story, has that one little moment where something feels off, but you brush it away. My moment came on a Tuesday. I came home from work early due to a system outage at the office. Usually Emily texted me nonstop while I was gone, pictures of the cat, updates about her day, random memes, but that day nothing. Not a single message. When I unlocked the apartment door, the first thing I noticed was silence. No TV, no music, no Emily humming in the kitchen. Then I heard it, a quiet whisper, followed by a laugh, coming from the bedroom. My stomach tightened. For a second, I stood there like an idiot, convincing myself I was overreacting. Maybe she was on a video call. Maybe she invited her sister over. Maybe I pushed open the bedroom door. And I swear to God, I will never forget the image burned into my mind. Emily and Ryan sitting on the edge of the bed, faces flushed, whispering intensely. They weren't touching, but they were close, and they sprang apart so fast you'd think they touched a live wire. Ryan stammered, "Dude, hey, we were just talking." Emily added, "We're planning a surprise for you. You weren't supposed to be home yet." I wanted to believe them. I did. But the look they shared, a quick, panicked glance, made my skin crawl. Still, wanting to avoid drama, I forced myself to let it go. Maybe it really was nothing. Maybe I was paranoid. Except paranoia doesn't explain the late-night notifications Emily suddenly started getting, or the way she changed her phone password, something she had never done before, or the way Ryan stopped hanging out with me as much, claiming he was busy while somehow always being available when Emily wanted help with something. Little things became big things. Big things became obvious. I'd wake up at 2 a.m. and find Emily on her phone, smiling softly at messages she refused to show me. I'd invite Ryan out for a beer, and had declined, only for Emily to mention later that he stopped by to help fix the sink. The sink that wasn't broken. Still, there was no proof. Nothing concrete. Just intuition. And intuition can be cruel, whispering truths you can't confirm. But the universe has a way of exposing people at the right moment. The breaking point came 2 months later. Emily and I were planning a weekend trip to visit my parents. We had talked about it for weeks, picked the dates, even booked a hotel. The night before we left, Emily got a migraine out of nowhere and told me she couldn't go. "I don't want to ruin the trip for you," she said sweetly. "You should still go. You'll just rest." Something inside me froze. Not because she wanted to stay home, but because it sounded rehearsed. But again, I pushed it aside. I kissed her forehead, packed my bag, and drove out of town early the next morning. 2 hours into the trip, I realized I forgot my laptop. Something I absolutely needed for remote work. I sighed, turned the car around, and headed home. When I arrived at the apartment around noon, I noticed something strange. Both of our shoes were missing. Emily's sneakers, the ones she wore to rest in bed, weren't there. And Ryan's beat-up Nikes, also gone. My heart pounded against my ribs. I walked into the bedroom. No one. Bathroom, empty. And then I checked the living room, specifically Emily's favorite blanket on the couch. It was thrown aside, wrinkled, disheveled. The pillows on the floor. 2 mugs on the coffee table, still warm. Then I saw it. Ryan's sweatshirt. The one he always wore to my place. Sitting casually draped over the armrest. A cold, hollow feeling spread through my chest. They weren't even trying to hide it anymore. And that's when everything inside me snapped. The doubt, the fear, the desperate attempts to convince myself nothing was wrong. I finally saw the truth. And revenge, the real kind, not petty, not impulsive, but calculated, began in that exact moment. I picked up the sweatshirt, folded it neatly, and placed it on the table. Then I smiled. Because if they thought they were smart, they had no idea who they were dealing with. I didn't confront them that day. I didn't scream, didn't throw things, didn't send angry messages. No, that would have given them the satisfaction of thinking they caught me off guard. People who betray you expect chaos. What they never expect is strategy. I left the apartment exactly as it was, mugs on the table, blanket twisted on the couch. Ryan's sweatshirt like a flag planted in enemy territory. I grabbed my laptop quietly, walked out, locked the door behind me, and sat in my car until my heartbeat stopped sounding like war drums. Then I drove to my parents' place as if nothing had happened. The entire weekend, Emily texted me the usual things. Feeling a little better. Hope you're having fun. Send your mom my love. Not a word out of place. No guilt. No hesitation. And Ryan, he didn't text at all. By Sunday evening, I had polished off the last bit of denial left inside me. I returned home like a man returning to a crime scene he now fully understood. Emily greeted me at the door, smiling wide. A blanket wrapped around her shoulders, as if she had spent the whole weekend under it. I missed you, she said, reaching up for a kiss. I kissed her back. That moment sealed my resolve, because she believed I was clueless. And that meant I had all the time in the world. Over the next few weeks, I played my role perfectly. I acted normal. I acted loving. I acted blind. But I paid attention to every micro-expression, every slip of the tongue, every late-night message she tried to hide. One night, around 1:30 a.m., she got a notification. She grabbed her phone instantly, too quickly, and turned away as if the screen was showing classified information. I pretended to be half asleep. She whispered "good night," kissed my shoulder, and rolled away. Half an hour later, her breathing slowed into the heavy rhythm of real sleep. I got up, went to the bathroom, and quietly grabbed the small hand mirror she used for makeup. Then I returned to bed, angled the mirror so the reflection showed the outline of her phone, and waited. And there it was. A preview message from a contact saved under the name Derek Work. But the first line made my blood run cold. I miss you already. Emily never had a coworker named Derek. Of course she didn't. The next morning, she acted normal again. Pancakes, coffee, soft kisses. Little routines she performed like a professional actress. But her eyes never met mine for more than a second at a time. She knew what she was doing. She just didn't know I knew too. The same week, Ryan stopped by unexpectedly, pretending he needed to borrow some tools for a home project. Emily lit up when she opened the door for him, not romantically, not obviously, but in a way people do when they feel guilty around each other. I watched them carefully as we chatted in the living room. The way he sat at the edge of the couch. The way she kept tucking her hair behind her ear, a nervous habit. The way their jokes were slightly forced. It wasn't just cheating. It was emotional, physical, long-term betrayal wrapped in layers of lies. The more I observed, the more everything made sense. The sudden distance, the changed passwords, the excuses, the way they both acted like they were walking on glass around each other. They weren't afraid I'd find out. They were afraid I already had. And that fear I planned to use it. But the real turning point, the moment that pushed me from silent observation into full revenge mode, came 2 Thursdays later. Emily went to visit her sister. Ryan went to the gym. Except they both forgot one crucial detail. I had access to Ryan's Google account from years ago, back when we used it for co-op gaming. We never bothered to revoke access. I hadn't even remembered it until that night. I logged into his location history. My stomach twisted, then tightened into something sharp and cold. Both of their dots were parked at the same address. A hotel on the other side of town. Not even a clever one. Just a mid-range hotel with cheap purple carpeting and a breakfast buffet. That's when something inside me snapped into clarity. I wasn't going to confront them emotionally. I wasn't going to demand explanations, let them twist the story. Let them cry and beg and pretend they were confused or going through something. No. They broke my trust. They mocked my loyalty. They stole years of my life without hesitation. They didn't deserve a breakup. They deserved consequences. Real ones. So I spent the next week planning. Patiently. Meticulously. Revenge is satisfying when done in rage. It's satisfying when done with precision. I started by gathering evidence, not messy screenshots, but organized, time-stamped, undeniable proof, hotel receipts, location logs, photos of Ryan's jacket, his shoes, his watch, all appearing in our apartment at suspicious times. Even the audio from the baby monitor app Emily had forgotten was still active on an old tablet, connected to our Wi-Fi. Then I made backups, multiple, offline. I didn't tell anyone, not even my parents. Meanwhile, Emily continued acting like we were building a life together. She talked about getting a dog, about taking a trip to Italy, about maybe getting engaged sometime next year. And I smiled, listened, played my part, because my revenge wasn't just about exposing them. It was about making sure they exposed themselves. And the perfect opportunity fell straight into my lap. Emily's birthday. She wanted a small gathering with friends. She begged me to invite Ryan because he's basically family. She said it with total confidence, believing I'd never suspect a thing. That's when the plan snapped into place, sharp and satisfying. Her birthday would be the day everything came crashing down. Not with screaming, not with violence, not with drama, but with truth. Cold, undeniable, inescapable. The kind of truth that burns everything in its path. And I was ready to strike the match. Emily's birthday arrived with the kind of crisp autumn air that usually brings warmth and nostalgia. But all I felt was an electric calm, the kind that comes when you've rehearsed every move, prepared every angle, and accepted that after tonight, life will never look the same. I woke up early. Emily stirred beside me, smiling sleepily. "Morning," she whispered, pulling herself into my arms. "Thank you for making today special." I kissed her forehead. "You deserve it," I said softly. And in a way, she did, just not in the way she imagined. By late afternoon, the apartment was spotless, decorated with warm lights, candles, and a banner Emily insisted we hang. She loved birthdays, her own especially, and wanted everything to be cute and cozy. I let her take the lead. After all, this night was hers. Or so she thought. Our friends arrived first, co-workers, a couple of her college friends, two of mine. Laughter filled the apartment, wine glasses clinked. Everyone complimented the food Emily had prepared, even though I had cooked most of it while she was running errands. Then, 20 minutes in, the doorbell rang. I didn't have to check the viewer to know who it was. "Can you get it?" Emily asked, adjusting her hair in the hallway mirror. "Of course," I said, and opened the door. Ryan stood there with a gift bag, wearing his signature casual grin. The same grin he used when he lied effortlessly. But this time, there was something else under the surface. Guilt. Fear. Uncertainty. He didn't know what I knew, but he suspected something. Cheaters always feel the shadows of their own actions even before they're exposed. "Hey, man," he said weakly, giving me a half-hearted pat on the back. "Glad you made it," I replied, my voice warm. Too warm. He glanced past me, scanning the room, probably looking for Emily. She rushed over immediately, hugging him just a second too long for best friends. That was their biggest mistake, honestly, the lack of subtlety. Our guests didn't notice, but I did, and tonight, everyone would notice. When everyone settled, I took a quiet moment to prepare. I excused myself, walked into the bedroom, and pulled out the smallest drive that held everything, neatly sorted into folders, each one containing time-stamped, cross-referenced evidence of their affair. Some people would have chosen chaos, screaming, throwing things, climactic confrontations, but not me. I wanted clarity. I wanted silence. I wanted truth to echo in the room long after I stopped speaking. I walked back out, USP in hand, and stood behind Emily as she laughed with her friends. "Can I have everyone's attention?" I asked gently. The room quieted. Emily turned to me, smiling with surprised delight. "OH, are you giving a speech?" "That's so sweet." I smiled back. "Something like that." I gestured toward the TV. "Emily, can you hand me the remote?" She did, oblivious, watching me with soft curiosity. Ryan, however, tensed immediately, his eyes darting toward the USP. He knew. He just knew. I plugged it in. The TV flickered. Emily laughed nervously. "Babe, what is this? A slideshow or something?" I nodded slowly. "Yes, a slideshow. A story, actually. One I think everyone in the room deserves to hear." The first photo filled the screen. A hotel receipt. 2 nights. Paid in cash. Emily's smile faltered. A ripple of confusion passed through the room. Slide 2. Ryan's car parked outside the hotel. Location logs captured from his Sinst account. Slide 3. A screenshot of Emily's phone. The message from Derek work saying "I miss you already." The room went dead silent. Emily's face drained of color. Ryan looked like someone had punched all the air out of his lungs. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't shake. I didn't cry. Instead, I spoke calmly, the kind of calm only truth can give. For months, I began. I've been watching the two people I trust the most lie to my face. I ignored the signs at first. I wanted to believe in the people I loved. But eventually, the truth became impossible to hide. I turned to Emily, who stood frozen, staring at the TV as if hoping it would disappear. You told me you were sick when you were with him. You told me you were visiting your sister when you were meeting him. You told me you loved me while sneaking around behind my back. Her lips trembled. I can explain, no, I said softly. You can't. Not now. Not anymore. I turned to Ryan. And you, my best friend since childhood. You stood by my side through everything. You ate at this table, slept on my couch, called me your brother, and you betrayed me in the worst way you could. He swallowed hard. Man, please no, I repeated. Tonight is not about excuses. It's about truth. The next slide showed them holding hands outside a cough. A photo ID taken from a distance after following Emily one afternoon. Gasps filled the room. Someone muttered, "Damn." Emily collapsed into a chair, shaking. I continued. I didn't want to scream. I didn't want to fight. I wanted everyone, including you two, to see the truth without distortion, without lies, without manipulation. Then I clicked to the final slide. A simple message. We're done. I turned to the guests. If you'll all excuse me, I think it's time for Emily to celebrate the rest of her birthday without me. I walked toward the door. The room was silent except for Emily's soft sobs. When I reached the doorway, I turned back once more. And don't worry, I added calmly. I've already signed the lease transfer forms. Emily and Ryan can figure out who keeps the apartment, since they're already sharing everything else. The room erupted. Whispers, anger, disbelief. Ryan stood, panicked. Emily reached out toward me with a broken, desperate cry. Please don't leave, but I did. I closed the door behind me, walked into the crisp night air, and felt something I didn't expect. Relief. Not rage. Not bitterness. Not satisfaction. Just peace. For the first time in months, the world felt still, quiet, wide open. I didn't need revenge anymore. I had truth, and truth was enough.